All right, in this next piece, I'm going to show you how you do something quickly. I'll give you an example. Best HVAC directory. I just want to show you something. So let's say we started off with a directory and our directory was empty. There was nobody in it, but we wanted to put a lot of companies into it. And that's 1,750 companies, right? It's different companies all the way around. This guy's in Huntsville, Alabama. There's the phone number. There's somebody in Vestavia, Alabama. There's the phone number. Okay. What if we want to do the same thing? First of all, it's good for them, right? It's more ranking for them. This was done free. Second of all, yes, you're allowed to take public information. That means companies and their information, put them in a directory you create. Anybody have any question about that? You can certainly do it. You can even buy lists of companies and stick them in your directories. But you don't need to. You can get them from ReferenceUSA. Let me show you what that means. And it starts with your local library, because all libraries in the US online connect to the same sources. So go to your library with your library card. You need it, and you can get access to ReferenceUSA. Okay, let me show you how that's done. Online library, for instance. Okay, now I'm going to hit databases. ReferenceUSA is in databases, or it's in other places. Like for some people, it's in sources. It'll be called sources or something like that, resources. Well, anyway, databases. Okay, I'm just hitting that. I could have fit something else like business and funding. I'm just doing this anyway. Now, I am going to close the note. I know. All right, Control F. I'm just going to look for this thing. ReferenceUSA. There it is. So I'm going to go here. I can download this information and use it however I want, completely for free, just because I have a library card. Okay, literally, because it's just data. It's databases. It's stuff you go and look up and study and learn. And it's perfectly legitimate for you to do this. You can go and look up on YouTube, and you'll see tons of people use ReferenceUSA for leads or for anything they want. Here we go. I'm going to search U.S. businesses, and let me show you how this works. I'm going to do an advanced search, okay? And this is what you can do. I'm just showing you, okay? This is really a big deal. Now, I am going to just look for a few particular things. I'm going to put in a keyword, okay? Because I'm going to grab like all the information, but there are certain things I want to sort by. So like number of employees and sales, okay? Yes, they need to have a web address. And I want to omit a couple of states like Alaska and Hawaii. So let me start down here. I'm going to omit state. Okay, Alaska, that's the last thing I clicked on, and Hawaii. Above it, web address. Only companies with a web address. That's what I want. Sales volume. I want this one, and that one. I don't want one that's lower than that, because I don't want people who are like just starting up and barely even on their feet. Maybe you can definitely choose to use it. I want somebody established. It makes my directory look better, you know, to have people in companies that are clearly doing something. But it's completely up to you. It's all up to what you want to do. And if you're creating websites for people, you almost definitely want to hit less than 500,000 anyway, because you want to show people the websites you're creating for them. It's up to you. Now, how many employees? Again, I want somebody who's established if I'm doing directory listings, but if you're doing websites, you'll probably grab everyone up through. But I'll just say something like this and that and that. Okay, those are appropriate numbers for whatever, garage door repair. And these are appropriate numbers for garage door repair. Okay, now I haven't put in what I'm looking for yet, have I? Let me just go ahead and put something in, garage door repair. Okay, and I'll search. Okay, it's going to give me a lot of stuff. Okay, I'll click on some of this. Doors garage, you know, doors repairing, doors overhead type, garage door operating devices maybe. These are these are categories. I'd automatically add these to my directory just by uploading my files through our directory lister tool, and it'll create the categories, and it'll match all the companies to their appropriate categories, and it'll just show them. Okay, so I'm just showing you how this thing works. All right, so you can understand what's going on. Garage is auto repairing. Okay, I've got quite a few, and I put in some information here. How many guys is this though? Like, I really don't know. So let me update the count. Okay, Okay, 39,807, way more than I need. So I might start pulling out anything that feels like it could be a little off. Like I can click on that again to get rid of it and just see where I'm at. Ooh, 3,983. Awesome. I might just want like 1,000. Why? Because you'll find you can only do this like 250 at a time. So you just kind of be a little more specific. All right, that's good enough. Okay, I want the verified businesses, phone verified, quality checked. All right, I don't want to include anyone else, but you may have a purpose for including closed out of business records. You might send them a tax relief advice, you know, if they're going through bankruptcy. Who knows what your website's about? If you're a lawyer, you might go straight for that. Okay, all right, let me view results. And let me, okay, here they come. All right, take a look. 2,448 results. I can put them all in my directory if I want. Okay, 581 have email addresses, but you got to buy that separately. Forget it. There are all kinds of tools for extracting email addresses and snaking them and stuff. So, oh well, I'm going to ignore that. All right, here's what I am going to do. I'm going to say, look at this. Okay, we got company name. There's the name of the executive, the guy who runs the place. There's the street address. There's the city and state, zip, phone. Okay. And then if they have like related businesses, franchises, that's cool, isn't it? You can even sort by that. So if you want to go after companies where you get them excited and somebody says, yes, I want this, then you can open the dialogue to what about your franchises? It could become a whole huge thing, okay, for the whole company nationwide. All right, here we go, especially if they don't know anything about schema or canonical links. All right, watch. I say I want this whole first page of records, and that's 25 selected. Now I want page 2, and I want those 2. That's 50. Now I want page 3. Now you can only do 10 at a time. All right, you can only download 10 at a time. So I'm just showing you anyway how this works. All right, 6, 7. Okay. 8, 9, and 10. I'm just doing it. How long is this really taking, especially if I don't have to explain it because you already know what's going on? How long do you think it would really take you to do this? All right, now I'm done with that. I got 250 selected. I'm going to download it, okay? And it's going to ask how. I'm going to say Excel, okay? I'm going to say detail. Give me everything, all the data. Just download it, okay? Now, again, what can I do with this information? I can create variations of my garage door website for all of them so they could all see what theirs would look like. You know, the same template maybe with the same images, the same color schemes. I don't have to, but I can. And okay, I'm going to open it. But it's going to have their information in it, so it'll look really good to them. It'll look like it's within reach. You know, they see themselves in it. That really helps the sale, right? To put their information in it. Okay, now I'm going to save this as something else. This is like a fake XLS. It's really an HTML page with a, XLS extension. So I'm going to File, Save As. Okay, I might stick it on my desktop. And first of all, I want to select the top choice, Excel workbook. Okay, and second of all, I want to call it what? Like a GDR listings 1. Okay, that's my first 250. I could number it or something, but there you go. Then what could I do? Here's what most people do. They say this: if you just go back, everything's still going to be check marked on pages 1 through 10. Well, mostly you got to get past all that. You don't want to deselect all those check marks. So just do new search, because guess what? It's going to start off, oh, I don't think you do new in this case. I think it would do a revise search is another option. I think there's another way to do it. Like if I go back 1, I went back 1 so I can revise search. Okay, sorry, kind of get ahead of myself. Now here's the point. Because I'm revising the search, everything's still check marked, so I can view results again. I'm just showing you how to continue. Okay, and then now, nothing is selected. So if I hold this button down, it speeds across. Okay, that was 10. Let me go one more. Good. Guess what I can do right here? I can start check marking. 11, 12, okay? 13. This is how you get your leads. This is how you get your sales. You download the next 250. That becomes your stack 2. Okay. Can you imagine? First of all, most of these guys, especially if you select leads that have no websites and you start offering them, like you find their information, contact them, or even call them, and literally show them what their website could be like, top of the line. No coding errors, maximize page speed, schema, canonical links, everything else. Okay, you'll really blow them away. All right, and you can offer whatever you want for a price. Heck, you auto-generate this stuff to show them. So by downloading it, I got my next Excel file. I could even take those records and copy them into my first Excel file just to make it larger. Okay, now I've explained all that. Let me show you where this goes. Okay, GDR listing. I'm going to open this up. I got all that information for all these companies, right? Let me come back to, this happens sometimes. So if this happens to you, by the way, it happens to me depending on how I'm operating with different things. You may have lost your T2HA toolbar. All right, fine. Well, if I did, I just have to reattach it, okay? And it'll come back. If I go through the files, it'll come back. It just does it sometime depending on what I'm doing. So I'm going to turn it off, T2HA toolbar, okay? And then I'm going to come back in, add-ins, go, and I'm going to turn it back on again. And there you have it. Okay, now here's the point. The first thing I might do is this. See, remove duplicates. For whatever I select in here, whatever combination I select, if I hit remove duplicates, it will look at everything and it will remove anything that is a full and complete match. Here's what you should do. Put your cursor on A1. Don't do this. This is the entire sheet, top to bottom, all the way. Forget that. But, sorry, put your cursor on A1 and hit Control A, right? It draws a perfectly neat box around the array, the data set, the array. Okay, the whole array. Then I just hit remove duplicates. Yeah. So if I happen to accidentally get any duplicate entries from all my screwing around, downloading all these different records, they're gone. Okay. Now I can just double check, and I'm still at 250 plus the header row. See, the header row. All right. Now what? Well, I'm going to do 2 conversions. So what I do, I open the file, hit remove duplicates. Now I'm going to hit this. This is for the directory lister, right? The directory load tool that we created. And guess what? It just created that for me. This is a different file now, a CSV file that is ready for the upload to the directory right now. So like I showed you that other guy's directory, I can upload this right now and it'll have all those entries right now. Now that's got to be pretty amazing to a lot of you. There it is. It's sitting separate from this. Okay, I'm still working in here, but it generated this, so it's at the ready. I could rename this thing, right? DL, GDR1, and I know what that is. I know what this is. It's those listings that came first. Okay, it's already done. Now, what else can I do? Because let's say I'm going to go put all those directory listings into the website, into the directory. What else can I do? I can create the websites. So I could, if I actually knew what I wanted to do for the websites, I could go replace all the websites with the right information. Okay. What else can I do? Let me I'm on my data. So I'm going to do now a ReferenceUSA global variable converter. For those of you who know what this is, it's awesome. Look at that. Okay. Done. Okay, not only did it get the global variables for every first name, last name, company name, phone, fax, address, highway, so we can auto-generate all these websites, but guess what else? It can use the information more than once. And because it can use the information more than once, okay, wherever Google Plus or LinkedIn exists, boom, there it is. Because we can use the information more than once, we also did use it for schema entries. Schema, business name, address, city, zip. Look at that. So I got schema for all this stuff, including reviews, which, you know, I may go through and change all the review number. Actually, there was no review number information, so it's sitting there. You could fill this stuff in if you wanted with all kinds of things, right? Like variable numbers between 1 and 5 or whatever you want to do. But the rest of this information's here, okay? Literally for all 250 entries. Now, isn't that pretty nuts? So what do you do with that? Well, it becomes your new global variables page, or at least you paste it in as part of what you're doing with your global variables, right? So let me tie it together just in case you're missing it, because this is huge. GDR5, administrator. I can do it with GDR5. I can do it with new LS3. I can do it with actually any template you have. T2HA template that has bulk export utility capability. You can do this. Let me do that. Let me go. I'm going to download the sample feed file. Okay. That's this one. I'm going to open it. Okay. Let me bring it back here. Now, it's sitting here on the global variables page with one global variable, right? One row. Well, fine. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take mine. I'm going to highlight the whole thing this time. I mean, you could do this and do Control A and Control C. That way you don't get, you know, mixed up. I'm going to go back. I'm going to just put my cursor in there and go right over the top of it. Whap. Yes, I want to replace the contents of the destination cells. Boom. It doesn't matter what order the global variables are in. Just so you know, it does not matter. Okay? Now, for those of you that are starting to understand suddenly what's going on, let me go back to my subdomains list. Let's say I wanted to show demos. So I'm going to take and I'm going to produce everything with template 4. Doesn't have to be true. I can cycle between my templates. Matter of fact, since I can cycle, well, I shouldn't cycle between my templates without doing a master feed file first, but you can theoretically cycle between your templates. What I'm going to do is create a version of this entire website with literally everything for each of those companies. Each one of them are going to have the right phone number for that company, etc., 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 because I already have it set up in the global variables to work with the global variables I just created. Okay, all of this stuff is in there the same way, so it's ready for me. Okay, so all I got to think of, and I haven't even thought of it yet, GDR listing 1. Okay, now global variables. I got to think about what I'm going to use here that's going to be unique enough, okay, for me to use for the right formatting for the different subdomains or folders I'm going to create it to. So just so you know, I'm going to use template 4 for the first website, and I'm going to use it for all the rest of them. But I'm going to use it, and I'm going to put all these on who knows what website. Like I got some website I can produce to, so I can show people what's going on. And I just put in the stuff, you know. Okay, that's the cPanel username and password so that the system can get access to it. Okay, this works on our server, all right, with websites on our server, and it works with HostMonster accounts. It doesn't work that well with other things. So it's touch and go. It depends on how the accounts are set up. Now, I'm going to need a list of 250 domain name and subdomains to put all these runs on for each different website. So just to explain what we're doing, here we go. Control C, Control V. I got 250, right? So I need to take this and drag it down to 251. Since I got that header row. Sorry, 251. Boom. Now I am almost done with that. Now I want to go and in the subdomain, because whether I'm doing subdomains or folders, this part's the same. I need to get something I can use from the global variables that'll be unique enough. I'm not really sure that this is going to be unique enough because take a look. Those aren't unique enough. So either I got to do something else, or if I don't, like even the phone numbers are probably not unique enough. Some of these are probably the same. So I got to just find a way to deal with it. Okay. Or if I wanted to deal with it some other way, what could I use? I could use a combination that would be more helpful. Like, take a look. There's an address here. Okay, but the address is not complete. Oh, but the city is perfect. So watch this. I'm going to take like this and then the city, okay, from variable 7, you know. It might be that I should go variable 8. I'm just going to show you something, all right, just so you can see. Control V, okay. And then, hello, I'm going to go back and get from, maybe I'll even just do zip code, right? Because that'll make sense in this case. Okay, Control C. Let me go back. Control V. Okay. So now what do I want to do? I'm going to do some quick tricks. Okay. I would want to make sure that there are no spaces in these subdomain names and no symbols like that ampersand symbol, no apostrophes. So I would do a little bit of cleanup. Okay. For instance, let me come down and highlight this. Okay. And I just got to, clean up my data. Right. So let me start by saying Control H, replace any apostrophes with nothing at all. And I can see an example here with Lamar's class. Okay, that went away. Replace the ampersand with nothing at all. Replace all. And then replace any case of a space or 2 spaces with just 1 space. Again, just cleaning everything up. And I might do it again, make sure I can get down to 0. And then finally, I'm going to take and replace a space with a dash. And the purpose of that, of course, is to get all the spacing out of these URLs because they're going to become URLs. Okay. Now look at how clean that is generally. Now the next thing I have to do is mix that information with this information. If you know how to do that, you can do it yourself. If you have the emoji toolbar, you can do it with that. If you've never seen this before, let me just show you. This square I'm going to make equal to that and let's say a dash in double quotes, okay, and that dash prefix, okay, that. And look at the way that looks. That goes out perfectly, right? So now I get to pull that one down. All right. Now, do you see what's going on there? It actually used all the information all the way down. So now I'm going to copy it, paste special as values. And so these are individual values. So now I get to delete this and scoot that information over. By the way, we'll create some pretty cool automation for these steps too, just for those of you that are actually challenged by this stuff. That's okay. We'll get there. We're just thinking through processes so that we can automate them. Anyway, that's what 2017 is all about, speeding everything up. Now there's one last thing I want to do with it, and that's to make it all lowercase. Just it's better. T2HA, format sheet. It's more professional too. All lowercase. That. There. Now, what's the point? I can create a completely unique project for each of them. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know, here's how it works. Row 3 is a website. It will use all the information from row 3 to build a website across all those tabs, row 3. All right. Many of you know this. Some of you might not. And it will build it where I say to build it, which is going to be, in this case, that particular folder. Well, we have all these other websites to build, right? So now that everything is lined up the right way, the only other thing I have to do is get all these columns to go down to match. I have to have all this information, whatever it is. It can be different. I'm just going to lean to simplicity and make it all the same for the demo purpose of it. So now that I have this filled out, and keep this rule in mind. Once you take this thing all the way down, okay, it's got an end somewhere, like right there. Then all the other information should come down to match. By the way, how'd that one get 1 too low? If it is an extra one, I'm just going to go ahead and truncate at this point, or what? Oh, 252. I don't know. There is a 252. Okay, fine. then I'm going to bring that down to 252. Oh, that's why there's 2 spots at the top getting taken up. So let me just highlight that and drag it one more down. Okay, save. Yeah, this will be a free upgrade when we automate this because it's just, why not? This is an awesome piece to get done. All right, now that that's done, there's something called a row filler. When you hit it, it will fill in all the blanks, okay, across all the tabs so that you don't have to do it yourself, okay? It will just know to do that. And it will fill any repeating pattern column by column by column by column if it sees it until it gets to the bottom. How does it know where the bottom is? Like, which tab is it paying attention to for that? After all, this is the bottom on this tab. Well, it uses the first column of the first tab. As low as that goes is where everything else is supposed to go. Okay, so now I'm just going to hit row filler. It's processing and it's done. Now every one of those tabs is filled out properly all the way down to whatever it is, right there, 252. Okay, everything is there. Now, if I had pre-populated more information in all these tabs, like for different companies or email addresses, particular logo images, if I want to use, no problem. But I'd be doing this one for demo purposes. Okay. Anyway, all the tabs are filled in all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. And that means I'm done. I can literally go and generate all those websites. You know what it also means? It also means that I actually know what all those websites are going to be, so to speak. Like, for instance, what would that website be? Control C. I'll just show you. This is going to be here. This just gives you the idea. And actually, if I do as a folder, it's just going to be like this, you know. Just like that. That's going to be the website. In this case, you could point any GoDaddy domain name at it, or a client could. They could forward the domain name here, and that would act just like their website. And they cannot get from here out. If you're on any page inside of here, it will completely work inside that folder and that folder only. And if you use the internal link generator on something like this, it will create internal links for all of these individual folders only, so that all the internal links stay. You know, this stays within its own website. That one stays within its own website. So really, theoretically, right now, your contents is exactly when I should run the internal links macro, so that it can literally internally link everything for each of those rows individually. Now, what's that mean? It means I'm done. Okay, this is a lot of discussion, but what did I do? I produced a file that will let me generate 250 websites, all with their individual homes, so that I can demo them, I can show them. If you had like an automated email program, you could put in a nice little message, and you could use a scraper to dig up all the email addresses from all those companies, and you could just line up the list, the email address to the list of actual domain names. Go ahead and put that list together real fast, and auto blast it out to say, hi, we created a dummy website for you. Please take a look. If you like it, get a hold of me. It's got these great features. And there you go. You're bound to get some sales off of something like that. This is easy. Okay, really, really simple. Not only that, you could say in your email, you can have no coding errors, maximize page speed, schema, canonical links, and it's got a link to the directory listing on this directory. Okay, so we could even build in the global variables or something, particular tokens that specifically go right to the directory. Now, that sound pretty good? Let me talk to you about the next thing that comes after this. And I just showed you a couple of things. I showed you universal fixes before. ReferenceUSA, these two. Now I'm going to show you in the next video that you can completely come up with your own rules for these converters. Okay, you can do your own rules for how you want things to link, and your own rules so that no matter what database of listings you get, no matter what those original column names are, you can actually control the results. So You can convert any list of domain names into this format to make the websites and the directory listings on your own. And I'll show you how, and you'll get it. It's nice and easy. Okay, we'll do that in the next video.